Fair. Hey, welcome. Merry Christmas to our new God's Love for the Unlovable and Gospel Rant podcast, a format. We're calling it Vagabond Diaries. We want it to be fun, informative, life-changing, something that's just really interesting, but also spiritually forming. So it's going to be loaded, immersed with the gospel, God's love for the unlovable, the unloved, and the unlovely. And in this case, it's a Christmas theme. We've done it before. I did it last year in Instagram form. Got great reviews, and I wanted to do it again for YouTube and podcast. It's a powerful, powerful message, probably more for adults, just a warning. But it's the gospel presentation, and this is Christmas after all. So enjoy. Welcome to God's Love for the Unlovable and Gospel Rant. Welcome to Farah. Farah rubbed her bruised arm where he had grabbed her. She was confused. This was just his way? She repeated to herself, hoping to quiet her heart rate somehow. He's right. It's my fault, she said to no one at all. He works so hard and deserves a perfect meal. He loves me. No, really, I must try harder. She must try harder. Then, Habibi, well, her thoughts paused. Then my husband will love me again. I want him to look at me and see me, the real me. Her desperate thoughts were swirling in a tumultuous maelstrom. Oh, why can't I think straight? He's right. I am so stupid. Farah's name means joy in her native country, but that was well-meaning on her parents' part. It was her mother who had chosen the name. She died when Farah was relatively young. It's funny, she remembered, even though her father also died long ago, she still can remember his angry voice. It doesn't cause her to shudder anymore, not like it did for years. It's just another lousy, fading shadow. You are such a loser, her Baba would say to her over and over. No one will have you. You're going to be an old maid. But more than her father's awful, destructive words, it was the way he wouldn't look at her that hurt the most. Baba, it was a mistake. I didn't mean to. Well, maybe she did. Farah still couldn't think straight. Tears began to flow down her bruised left cheek. She paused, took a thin breath, looked down at the round face of the olive-skinned baby she held in her arms. Strangely, the child was unnerving to her. She had never known anyone like him. His huge brown eyes just watched her. They were wonderful, but sad too, she thought. She almost smiled, wondering if anything could distract this child from its silent, intentional investigation of her face. What did he see? What could he see that others could not? His stubby fingers reached up to touch her cheek clumsily, but it was his eyes that captured and troubled her. The baby seemed to know her thoughts, her pain, her shame. It's not possible. This child doesn't know me, she argued to herself. He can't. Not really. He wouldn't be so interested if he knew who I was and the mistakes I've made that brought me here tonight. He wouldn't. Then, almost imperceptibly, she caught something in the infant's eyes. A look, a glint. He does know. She gasped in amazement. No, it can't be. You foolish girl, get your act together. But she saw it. Yeah, it was the infant's eyes, she thought again. He has such sad eyes, she wondered, trying to figure out why she couldn't turn away. Was this what it felt like to be noticed and seen, appreciated? Her body shuddered again, not from the trauma, but from something new, warm and different that flooded into her soul. Joy is such a strange feeling for Farah. Before this moment, it was a shallow word with very little meaning, but maybe that would change. It was time. Farah looked up at the miserable crowd surrounding her. There were rows and rows of sad faces, battered women, ashamed teens, objects of bullying and despise, the mocked and the ugly. She recognized many of them. Reluctantly, she handed the special child back to her young mother. He had her eyes, she observed quietly to herself. Farah stared at Mary for a long time and wondered what she would do next. Mary just smiled at Farah and reverently held out the infant, the immensely approachable God, the eternal King who adores the unadorable, and carefully placed the child in the arms of the next joyless pilgrim. When Farah opened her eyes, the cathedral was empty. How long have I been here? She wondered, shaking her head to clear away the mental cobwebs. As she rose from her knees, pain surged through her legs and side, and a warm rush of blood flooded back to her calves. As Farah looked around, she noted that the nativity pillar candles barely flickered anymore. They were struggling at the end of their journey, hushed memories of the Christmas service that had ended some time ago. Only a reverent silence echoed in the hall, a cool breeze wafting over her from an open window. She was alone. What happened tonight? She wasn't sure. All she knew with great certainty was that she would not go home, not to him. It was his eyes, she thought. The end. So I hope that was a meaningful story to you. You can see why I said it's really just for adults. So here's some dialogue starters that I thought of. First of all, push back. What jumped off the page? What new things did you see? What bothered you? What did you feel? A second, did it shine some light on the Christmas story? What the Jesus child was all about? And then, who are you going to pass this on to? Good news, God's love for the unlovable. Listen, if you like this Vagabond Diary, and why wouldn't you, please like it, subscribe it, forward the link to a friend. Check out my fantasy series this Christmas, the Kingdom Quest trilogy. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Audible, at least one of them. So that's The Tale of the Unlikely Prince, The Storyteller's Tale, and The Garden Tale. If you want more information, you can check it out on Amazon, or you can go to my author page, Dr. Bill Senior, DrBillSenyard.com. And also check out my women's study group, Dad's Daughters of the Most High. It's fun, it's informative, getting great reviews from women's groups. The stories are amazing. It's about underappreciated, misunderstood, and overlooked women in the Old Testament. It's going to be a trilogy, lots of fun. It'll definitely get dialogue going, stories you probably haven't heard of, yeah? You can get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or drbillsenior.com. Listen, thank you for paying attention to Gospel Rant, for the Vagabond Diaries. It's been a great year. Hope to see you next year after Christmas. We're going to pick up the series, I think. We're getting great feedback, and keep that feedback coming. But for now, Merry Christmas to you and your family. Take heart, child of God.